Have you ever heard about clean architecture? Do you know what does exactly clean architecture mean? No worry, if you don't know anything about it, in this video I'm going to open this topic for you and make it a piece of cake for you. I'm going to completely explain the clean architecture principle and we are going to use a practical example in this video. So be with me till the end of this video to get familiar with clean architecture principle. Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Mohsen, and in this channel I'm going to teach you how to become a great and powerful Android developer. So please subscribe to the channel and let's jump in. This is the main package of another application that is using the clean architecture. As you can see, it has three main layers, and each layer has its own tasks and its own classes and interfaces: presentation, domain, and data. As you can see, the UI is located in the presentation layout. So that shows that the presentation layer, is interacting with the users. We have the UI, we have the view model here, we have the state, which is checking the status of the UI, and events that checks for any event, any action that the user is making, and the effects that the application should care about it based on the user's interaction with the screen. Let's go to the data first, then we are going back to the domain. The data layer is responsible about storing and retrieving the data. As you can see, it can have two databases. It can be either the local database or the remote server or database, or both of them. So the data is coming here to this layer, and this layer will send the data to the database, or based on the need can retrieve the data from the database and send it to the other layers. In this layer, technically we should not do any manipulation on the data. The data should be ready in the domain layer and should be sent here to the data layer to be stored. Or we are getting the stored data from the database and sending it to the domain, then domain will do whatever we need on this data, and the ready data will be sent to the presentation to be displayed to the user. So technically the data layer will use to store the raw data or the ready data to the databases. And finally, the domain layer, as I said, any functionality that we want to do on the data will take place in this layer, and all of the calculations should be done here. And each layer has a connection to the other layer. The presentation and the domain layer are connected together with the view model and the use case. So this use case class and the view model class are responsible of the having connection between these two layers. And these two layers also are connected together with these two repositories, this interface and the implementation of this interface. So the data through these two classes will flow between these two layers, and here from these two classes the data will flow between these two layers. Now Let's jump into the Android Studio and have a practical example. Okay, here I've prepared a simple note application. Here I can add data and save it here, and we can see the data real time. And if I press the delete, I can delete the data. It doesn't have any database, so if I close the application and open it, there will be no data anymore. Here, as you can see, we have this clean architecture pattern. We have data layer, domain layer, and presentation layer. Inside of the presentation layer, I have the view model. This UI and the main activity also can be stored inside the presentation, but for default, as you can see, it's like this, and I didn't change them. That's not very important. Inside the domain, I have the model, I have the repository, and the use cases. If you don't know what is use case and why we use it, no worries. Just accept this video as it is, and in the next video, I'm going to explain the use cases. The next video will be a full video about the use case, why we need it, how to implement it, and the main rules of using use cases. For now, just accept that these use cases and the view model are connected together to make the connection between the domain layer and the presentation layer. And here in the data layer, I have the node repository implementation. Just let's take a look at the data when the user is writing something here and pressing the add. What happens on the data until here to being stored in the, let's call it database, which is in this case only a mutable list. Okay, here we have a column. Inside this column, I have outline text field. There is this var here called text, and here we have the button add. So the text will be stored inside this var, and we are going to call the view model, and inside the view model there is add node function, and by calling that function and passing this text to it, the flow of sending data to the database will start. Here I have the add node. The text comes here. We are checking if it's blank or not. If it's not blank, we are going further. We are calling the add node use case. Here I've defined all of the use cases here, and here we have the node repository implementation as well. And I pass this instance of the node repository implementation to the construction of these three use case classes. Okay, add node use case is called, and the node is passed to it. Actually, the text and the ID and fully the node is passed to this. Let's check what's the node. Node is the data class and is stored in the model. So if you watched the previous videos and if you already know how to work with the ROM database or with the retrofit library, you know that we have these data classes to store temporarily the data inside there before sending it to the database or after before showing it in the UI. So inside of it we have the text body and ID which should be unique. I have all of the definition that you need on all of the classes and you can check them. Here let's go again to the view model. Okay. So we are sending the data to the use case, and we are going to load the data through this load node. Later we are going to come back to this. Let's go to the add node use case. Here we have operator function invoke, and it invokes the node and the repository interface, and the function of add node inside the repository interface. So you may know what's the interface and why we are using interface. In simple word, if I want to explain it to you, when we are sending the data through the higher level classes to the lower level parts of the application in Java and Kotlin, we are going to use classes. For example, from main class to another class that has a function. When we want to call this function, we are using classes, just like we used the use cases. But when from the lower layers to the higher levels, we want to send data, we cannot use classes. We should use interfaces. So that's why here we have interface. Inside this interface, we have these three classes. Then the repository implementation has inheritance from this node repository. So if I delete all of them for a second, you can see that the compiler tells me that I should implement the members. So the members are those functions of the node repository interface, and you can see them all here. Override function of add node, override function of get node, override function of delete node. So for now, the add node, the node is sent here finally, and we are going to add it into this val, which is our, let's say, database. For now it's a mutable list of the data class node. So the data is loaded inside this list, and it's ready to be showed. To show it, we are using this get nodes. The nodes is going to be a list, and the list will be stored to this list out of the node class. And in the higher level, we have the get node. We are just getting this node, and in the get nodes use case, we have again the same. And in the view model, we have the load nodes. The nodes is mutable state list of, again, the data class node. We are going to clear it. All the old data will be cleared, and the new data will set on it. So immediately here inside the main activity, we have a launch effect. After any changes in the data, these data that are in the column will be refreshed, and we can see the stored data here real time. And to delete data, again the same. We can see the explanations are here. We are going to send the ID of the data through this function here, and after deleting the data, we are going to load the remain data on the screen. Here in the delete use case, again we have the same. In the repository, we have the node that we want to delete it, just like here. And in the implementation, we are going to check if we have such ID inside our list. We are going to remove it by ID. And that was a short example of clean architecture. You can see we followed everything, and you can see inside, for example, these use cases, if we check the imports, you can see only domain layer libraries or classes or whatever we are working with are called here, and there is nothing about the other layers. And here again we have the same. This repository inherits from this node repository, and you can see we have only domain layer because it's making the connection between data layer and the domain. And as you can see, only in the main activity in the imports we have something like libraries connected to the Android SDK. So if we follow such architecture, it's very good for multi-platform applications, and we can use all of these layers on our iOS application, and there will be no problem of using Android SDK because these layers are the same, but the presentation layer is different. As I mentioned in the video, the next video will be about the use cases, and in the next videos the new playlist will be launched, and I'm going to show you how to build a biking application. Don't miss this application, it's very powerful, and I'm going to cover clean architecture, runtime permission, location strategies, and it's almost a weather application, so we are going to take the data using retrofit, like the weather data using retrofit from the API, and we are going to use cases to make algorithm to do calculations and tell us the best day for cycling in the 5 future days. And also I implemented the coin dependency injection on this application. So be with me in the next weeks, and I'm going to start this new playlist and show you how to build this powerful application. Till that time, if you want, write down comments in the comment section, and I will be so happy to read and answer them. If you want to financially support me, you can find the link down below in the description, and you can buy me a coffee. Remember to subscribe to the channel and give me a thumbs up for this video. Till the next videos, happy coding, see you.